Trump administration has taken a whole-of-government approach to rooting out fraud. The Trump administration has already uncovered at least $9 billion in fraud. These criminals have stolen taxpayer dollars from all Americans to fund lavish cars, homes, and vacations here in the U.S. and abroad. Some of this stolen money is even allegedly going overseas to support terrorists. Our witnesses, the chairwoman and 2 members of the Minnesota House of Representatives Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee have been sounding the alarm on this fraud for years. Democrats have attempted to distract the American people from this widespread fraud and accuse investigators of racism. This should not be a partisan issue, but they clearly do not take this issue seriously. Either they don't take fraud seriously or they just don't care. It's one or the other.
Victims shocked after Biden grants clemency to Kids for Cash judge and $54 million embezzler. Shocked. Biden clemency for convicted fraudsters met with outrage. It's a slap in the face. Comer on Fox News. Biden crime family pardons serve as a confession of their corruption. Biden pardons more people in his criminal clan and commutes sentence of Leonard Peltier. Op-ed from the former legislative auditor, Jim Nobles, what's the right number? And then finally, Mr. Chairman, 18 U.S. Code 666, theft or bribery concerning programs receiving federal funds seems apt in this case. Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Ms. Pressley from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me just begin by making this plain. Credible fraud must be investigated and prevented. Every dollar that is stolen from public programs is a dollar that is taken from a child who needs care, a senior who needs food, or a family that is already struggling to make ends meet. Ms. Robbins, I want to just begin with a basic question, and please answer yes or no. When someone is convicted of defrauding the public, do you believe that they should be held accountable?
Yes.
So if we're serious about fraud, then we also have to be serious about accountability. Ms. Robbins, do you mind just expounding, what does accountability look like to you?
We want to prosecute everyone who's committed a crime, and we want to fire officials in the agencies that are liable for allowing the failure of internal controls.
Okay, so Ms. Robbins, let me be more clear. What should happen to fraudsters who steal public dollars?
They should go to jail.
So in my opinion, accountability means restitution. It means consequences, like incarceration, that help ensure that it doesn't happen again, as a real deterrent and accountability. It means that money taken from families and the public is returned to them. But that is not the standard that is being set by Donald Trump, who is wielding his clemency authority to allow fraudsters to escape accountability altogether. Last month, my office published a clemency report titled Trump's Clemency Gap, How Trump's Pardons Are Ignoring the People Who Need Them the Most. I ask unanimous consent to enter this into the record. Thank you. Now to the witnesses who serve in the Minnesota State Legislature on the Fraud Prevention Committee, let's walk through these pardons for fraudsters, and we all care about fraud. So Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick, Donald Trump pardoned George Santos, who defrauded voters and owed them $370,000 in restitution to victims. Raise your hand if you oppose this pardon. Thank you, Mr. Balloon.
Ma'am, I would have to look at the law and the facts of the case. We cannot know the facts of all these individual cases.
Don't deflect. This is a very public case. You know who George Santos is. You know exactly what he did. We just agreed that, fraud is unacceptable. And you just talked about accountability. You said if people commit fraud and exploit the public good, that they should be incarcerated. So this is not a complicated question. So I will give you all one more opportunity. Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick, raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
Not playing this game.
It's not a game. It's real life. It's not a game at all. Okay, but I will take your refusal to go on record, not only as cowardice, but that you do agree with that pardon of that fraudster. Moving on, Donald Trump also gave, and this has never been done before, presidential pardons to corporations that committed fraud. One example is the crypto company BitMEX that violated U.S. law and was fined $100 million. Now raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this crypto company.
Not participating.
Thank you, Mr. Ballou. Okay, again, I'll take your refusal to raise your hand in opposition. That means that you support this pardon of this corporation that frauded folks to the tune of $100 million.
Refusal to participate is not an expression.
Reclaiming my time.
To participate
Do you
is
know
not
the
an
rules of
expression
committee?
one way or
Do you
the
know
other.
the rules of committee? This is my time.
I know that I am
Do
here
not speak
as
over
a member
me.
of the public.
Reclaiming my time. You are
that
not,
you
Mr. Chair.
serve.
Mr. Chair.
That's what I know.
You are not in order with the rules of the committee. This is my time. This is my time.
And
I
it's
ask
our
the
dollars.
questions and you answer, but you're too much of a coward to answer. So we're going to move on. Now, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary, and I want to note of the January 6th insurrection. And on Donald Trump's first day in office, he pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists, including Brian Christopher Mock, who's from Minnesota. Are y'all going to say you don't know who that is? He's from Minnesota. Now, he kicked, shoved, and threw a flagpole at police officers, you know, law enforcement that you claim to support. And he did all of that in the name of fraud. He was an election denier. So an election fraud lie. Now, he claims he did these things in the name of patriotism, but really he's just a criminal. So raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this Minnesota individual.
Ma'am, this grandstanding nonsense
This is not grandstanding.
exactly
This is
what
accountability.
Minnesotans hate about D.C.
This is accountability, and you are hypocrites. So again, I will take your
Thanks for
refusal.
demonstrating my opening
Mr.
statement.
Chairman,
Reclaiming
order,
my
decorum.
time.
She's off the
Reclaiming
rails.
my time. I'm not off the rails, please.
You are
Enough
totally
with your
off the
tropes.
rails.
Nancy,
Order.
enough with your tropes. Give me my
Order.
time back.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
If Republicans
I didn't
were
come here to be
serious about
accused
reclaiming
by
my
somebody who
time,
was supposed to serve me. You serve me and my constituents.
You have no time left.
You
You're
don't get to
overtime.
accuse me of things in this
Time.
chamber.
Overtime.
You're out of
Order.
time.
Reclaiming my
You're out of
time.
time.
There's no
You're
time
out of
left.
time. We're done
You're
here.
not
We're
gonna have
done.
time.
Touch in out of time.
At least 10
Mr. Chair,
seconds.
she's out of time.
Time's
Restore
expired.
my
Out of
time.
order
My
and
time
out
is
of time.
expired.
Ms. Pressley,
You
you've
all are
already
very
secured your
unserious.
MSNBC spot tonight.
I'm not
Your time's required.
looking for
Chair
accountability,
recognizes Miss
and you
Mace
want to
from
We're
run
gonna be
from
so
the
South
good on
Carolina.
MSNBC.
Chair
of your
recognizes
king
Miss Mace.
and this administration.
Thank you, Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Miss
And
Mace.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. She's
don't
going to be
care
a great
about
host on
hungry children. You wanna be
MSNBC.
cutting
This is
back.
my
I
time.
wouldn't want to jump
I
in front of
reclaim
Miss
my
Mace if I
time.
were you, Miss
I
Pressley.
reclaim my time. This is my time.
Republicans are no strangers to using crimes committed by immigrants to terrorize whole communities. And now they've realized that roughly 95% of the Somali population of Minnesota are citizens. They seem to be pivoting, and the bootlickers are eating it up.
I'll be introducing some legislation to make it easier to denaturalize individuals who've committed this kind of fraud in our country. We need to go after this fraud. We need to have more tools to make sure this kind of fraud doesn't happen. But it's a really stunning development. I think it also tells you, Harris, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is the Somali-based fraud that had to do with these daycare centers. There's also a bunch of money that went out the door at the end of the Biden administration that had nothing to do with COVID, but it was under the auspices of these COVID funds. I think you're going to see another wave of fraud. So I think that's probably at the heart of why Tim Walz's demise here is headline news. But you know, the other fraud that was perpetrated when he was picked as the running mate, he was supposed to be, you know, Governor Jazz Hands would come out on stage. He wasn't appealing to young men. I mean, this was the best they had to offer to deal with the fact that their party had completely tacked to the left over the last decade. And so Tim Walz is kind of the poster child, I think, for not only how out of touch the Democrats are, but how corrupt they are when they actually govern.
You have to make the punishment infinitely worse than the crime. And I'm talking about deporting the entire family, denaturalizing the entire family, sending the entire group of them back to Somalia. That's what needs to happen. And anybody complicit and anybody involved in this scam. And until we have a candidate and a person that's willing to do that, then I'm not really interested in voting.
Threatening to denaturalize U.S. citizens for non-violent crimes is a terrifying escalation, but not one utterly without precedent. The Brennan Center for Justice outlines how more than 22,000 Americans lost their citizenship between 1907 and 1967 based on either political affiliation, race, or gender. The stated purpose of denaturalization was to redress fraudulently obtained citizenship, but the process became a way to expel people people deemed, in a variety of ways, un-American. In a Thanksgiving Truth Social post, Trump said that he would, quote, denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility. Trump has, of course, repeatedly said that he's open to denaturalizing Representative Ilhan Omar, and even New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, before, of course, they went on to famously get along like a house on fire. When asked about Elon Musk, he told the press, we'll have to take a look. This has nothing to do with tranquility and everything to do with white supremacy and compliance with Donald Trump's authoritarian regime.